Hey guys, welcome to a live cast once again. Did this off Justin TV /Diggity SC. I'm actually going to try to cast a lot of the games like this from now on, so keep an eye on it. I guess I'll try to post to Twitter when I'm doing some of the WCG casts, because I do now have everything operational where I can live cast and record simultaneously. So a special shout out to everybody on the Justin TV channel. Idra a little bit pissed that this is the only map they're allowed to play. It is a very protoss favored map. Again, no gas on the secondary. But JF with a very nice recovery taking game one, and I think Idra just underestimated kind of the map itself, going for that containment instead of really going. I think he kind of held back with a lot of that attack because you just don't have the second gas to keep up with the tanks, and as soon as that zealot speed plus those zealots can go from that, it's just devastating. But still, JF, I would say, I don't like that strategy of going Dark Templar first. Once again, let's see if he mixes it up with Reaver this time and tries to play it, or if he goes for another strategy. Looks like Idra is going to be starting in the upper left-hand corner in teal as Terran, once again, his standard play. Let's also see if Idra plays a little bit more. He is going to play a little bit safer this time, going for a front door contain. Let's see if he plays a little bit more defensively, specifically on the detection, to try to make sure that he doesn't end up facing any more Dark Templar or Dark Templar harasses. Although that first game, he really stopped that cold. I thought he had the match for sure. And I think, again, kind of the switch is that I still think if he had just gone with Mines and Vultures and harassed from there while taking a third, he would have ended up winning that match. But instead going for really an all-in 6 factory, which is, it runs a lot differently on Nostalgia than other maps, ended up falling behind. Looks like that Probe Scout very early able to go in and breach that contain for JF. Got lucky on the Scout altogether. You can use every little bit of luck because, honestly, Idra, a tough opponent. Not able to get the gas steal, but still able to push in. Again, I'm kind of curious if JF is going to go for a 10-15 gate this time, because Dragoons really the key to the early game, really key to getting that third base up in the mid game, followed with Reavers. And let's see if he pulls that this time. The Probe trying to do as much harassment as possible. Idra able to switch it off very quickly. And let's see if Idra actually scouts this right off the bat. If he goes the top right and also gets the early scout off, it looks like he's already got that SCV scout headed that direction. So he'll be able to scout fairly early and fairly reasonably right off the bat as well. Fortunately for him, not getting any sort of early cheese. JF holding back off on the this might be a mistake here, just kind of microing that probe a little bit too hard instead of thinking about his gas, but delayed on mining gas, getting that pylon up. Yeah, a little bit delayed on mining gas. You can see he's a little bit flustered in this game, it looks like, maybe a little bit too excited after that first game win, but transferring those probes significantly late. There's that second pylon, so it looks like he's going to go for a pylon rather than the additional gateways for any sort of early Dragoon pressure. Usually, again, you do not want to go for a 10-15 gate on any map that is ramped whatsoever. On any map that is ramped. But on this map, I feel like it's the one exception, because I feel like Dragoons early, specifically holding Terran back inside the two bases where they can't get that third gas, I think it's really significant, and it can really pay off for it. It looks like we're just seeing that single factory. We are seeing a manor pylon. It actually doesn't look like it blocks anything off. It looks like it's just to disrupt the mining pattern this far. Let's see if JF is still going to succeed for JF, because he's got those two SCVs attacking it. Idra actually having a really hard time with this mining pattern. You can see the SCVs going behind his command center, going behind the mineral piles right here and doing it. 2 Marines have been produced on the front door. It looks like a 3rd Marine produced. It looks like we're also going to see a 4th Marine across the edge. And I'm also curious if Idra feeling like, okay, I don't have a gas on the secondary, let me just go for one base fast FE rushes. And honestly, if he goes with a 6 Marine FE rush, it could be really hard for JF to kind of push back. The one advantage for JF, again, is those little ramps. And it looks like he's going to go for that Dark Templar build once again. He's faking the range upgrade for the Dragoons. Dragoon kind of misfiring once again. Dragoons are really dumb sometimes. You can see they're thinking about taking a shot. They're like, oh, I'm going to take a shot, just kidding. Not going to take a shot. So we'll probably see a cancel in just a second. Looks like he might go up for another expansion, because he's definitely got the resources to do it coming off this. Let's see if he puts down another gateway to kind of amp production up. Only one gate into Citadel here. So one gate into Citadel might try to do. It looks like we got a pause right there. A lot of lag, and he's basically complaining. So it looks like it's going to be the same build. Once again, interesting that JF doesn't in fact micro his Dragoons. Complaining, still a little bit bitter from game one, it looks like, and still keeping up with that trash talk. Idra is putting down that second factory, so it looks like we are going to see a 2 factory push with a single siege tank, 2 vultures to follow, which could play very well against this build in particular, because JF is basically relying on his Dark Templar to do all of the map control for him. He's playing very light on troops, playing very aggressive on the economy, and I think that really Idra has a build order victory. I don't really see any other way to put it. He might not have the comp set to work with, so the critical thing will be basically mines versus vultures, but otherwise, yeah, he's going to be able to push against this very easily. I only see what we've got. Second Dragoon just building right now. So looking at the supply counts, we've got 3 Dragoons out in the field versus 6 Marines, a tank, and a lot of vultures to follow. And with that Nexus kind of halting that production to really mix it up, it's a really bad situation. The one advantage for JF, though, is going to be these ramps, that he can work at least with these ramps, try to play a little bit of positional control, at least in that regard. But right now, having to fully retreat. Let's see if he actually gets a 3rd gateway up to try to counter this. It looks like he's just trying to buy some time for his Dark Templar. Again, it looks like that mine research, and that's going to be the critical part, is the mines. At the very least, JF should be able to counter a little bit of this, try to get a couple Marine kills. But really, yeah, it's going to be mine coverage for Idra to try to counter this otherwise, and I think he will have the micromanagement to get it done. I guess it's a matter of time that the vulture speed actually going, and that's why I feel when you're doing kind of fakes like these, it's better to go mines first just in case. But right now, a ton of troops out in position. Looks like the vultures are going to cycle around. The Dark Templar should be coming out of their gateways right now. Caught him just in time, starting to move forward. Let's see if Idra now has the kind of the focus of mind to try to work with this. The vultures kind of swinging in. It looks like they do see the Dark Templars. The mines are planted critically. Managed to get one hit on the Dark Templar, not able to get a full hit on the Dark Templar. More mines being planted if these tanks can just maneuver up to the minefield. Instead, just getting taken out right now, so JF still might be able to hold this back. It looks like that second tank getting taken out by that Dark Templar, absolutely huge, but Vulture's able to run in and do a ton of economic damage in the meantime. And actually, if Idra just continues to pump a lot of these Vultures, continues to run them forward, continues to plant the mines, he still is going to be able to wreak a lot of havoc, because there's not a lot of reinforcement that can happen here. More mines being planted across the edge, and it looks like we are seeing more vultures kind of move across transition. So the Dark Templar being somewhat neutralized, JF taking a lot of economic damage. Vulture taken out by a Dark Templar right there. Needs to get the observatory up as quickly as possible. Vulture's being held up very, very heads up there by JF, blocking that ramp as best as he can. Loses that other Dark Templar, and now it's just a free-for-all, at least on the secondary. JF trying to retreat up to that ramp, but that was really close. That Dark Templar almost taking a bunch of probes down with him. Let's see if Idra actually manages to get if he's going to bother getting comps at station to follow this up. Looks like he's just going to try to take his secondary and continue flooding in. Vultures deny that secondary otherwise from this stage on. A significant degree of map control now, and now JF has to wait for that observatory to come in. There's that observatory. It's going to be a while before he can wind things otherwise, and even now, assuming he does get the observatory up, he's going to have 4 Dragoons and a Dark Templar to try to push out this otherwise, and he just definitely does not have map control. Let's see, it looks like a second machine shop being placed. There's the engineering bay. Idra could, in theory, move up, just put down a couple turrets, basically box him in his own natural secondary right on the middle line if he can move enough tanks, enough vultures, and get a turret there in time, and that could really be the difference. It looks like JF knows it. He's going to try to switch into a mass all-in here, getting 2 more gateways down to try to push it from there. I really don't think it's going to happen. I like this play from JF, actually. I missed that earlier, planting the pylons to try to limit the vulture movement. Now 2 SCVs coming up in the mix, and again, if Idra trying to micro this as best as possible. If you move in the vultures right as those mines are going off out in the field, you can end up doing a lot of damage. Mines being planted all around, and I think this Dragoon force isn't long for life. Microed it actually pretty well. The Dark Templar on the ramp, able to hold it right there, keep those vultures from pushing in. And it looks like JF threw some nice micromanagement, and I got to say a little bit of luck there with those mines. Able to keep this base from falling. Able to save the base 1 and 2, establish position at his natural secondary. Beautiful play. Actually, I'm going to have to say that's not luck, because holy crap. 48 health right there, absolutely huge. Idra has managed to get his additional base up. It looks like he's already got the missile turret in position, already has some siege tanks at the forward position as well. But right now, JF right back in it. He's managed to establish his secondary. Let's see if he can get that Zealot speed working. Looks like he's upgrading it right now. Has range on the Dragoons, has some Dark Templar out in the mix. He has that backside blocked off to the Vultures. And right now, not in a bad situation altogether. I think Idra, if he really wants to take this match, Should maybe think about, kind of keeping those vultures out in the field, maybe keep them on patrol, make sure you can keep some minefields, just kind of latently out in the field to try to keep those Dark Templar from really cycling out anywhere, and maybe try to take that 12 o'clock position a little bit in the dark. It looks like he's continuing to pump the vultures, still at 2 factories, still no second gas critically, and he's got a lot of work to do, honestly, because JF, this is a great position for JF, actually, after holding off that attack, because he's got a nice baseline of production. He ended up losing a lot of troops here, but again, without that second gas really to make that second base a true second base for Terran, those Zealots play a big advantage. So 2 base